Welcome back to GH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the major developments unfolding in General Hospital. Things are about to explode in Port Charles as one of the most shocking twists is set to happen. Sonny's heart surgery is fast approaching, and on the surface it appears to be just another risky but necessary medical procedure. However, under the surface, there's a deadly scheme at play. The surgery might actually be a carefully constructed trap designed to ensure Sonny's death on the operating table. Brennan, a powerful figure with shadowy ambitions, is believed to be the mastermind behind this plan. Brennan has always viewed Sonny as a major obstacle to his own ascent to power, and eliminating Sonny would be a critical move in solidifying his control. Brennan's plan is meticulous. He has managed to plant operatives within the hospital staff, ensuring that everything appears legitimate, while actually being poised for murder. As Sonny prepares mentally and emotionally for the surgery, completely unaware of the danger he's walking into, the pieces of Brennan's plot are falling perfectly into place. But just as it seems Sonny's fate is sealed, an incredible event changes everything. Morgan, Sonny's son, who was presumed dead after a tragic event in 2016, is not only alive but has been living in secrecy all these years. Morgan has been silently watching over Port Charles, observing his family from a distance and stepping in only when absolutely necessary. His love for Carly and Sonny has never wavered, and despite the pain of being separated from them, Morgan knew he had to remain in the shadows for reasons still largely unknown. Morgan's survival wasn't an accident. Over the years, he has been involved in a secretive organization with undisclosed objectives. Whatever this group's mission is, Morgan's loyalty to his family has always remained his personal priority. However, he knew that he could not reveal himself unless the situation became truly desperate. The moment of desperation arrives when Sonny is wheeled into surgery. As the anesthetic is about to be administered, a masked assailant appears, prepared to inject Sonny with a lethal dose of poison under the guise of anesthesia. Everything is seconds away from going according to Brennan's murderous plan. Then, out of nowhere, Morgan strikes. In a swift, precise move, he attacks the masked figure, knocking them unconscious before they can harm Sonny. Chaos erupts in the operating room. Nurses and doctors scream. Sonny, still groggy but aware enough to see what's happening, locks eyes with his son. He is stunned beyond belief. His son, his flesh and blood, standing there, alive and strong. There's no time for emotional reunions. Morgan, understanding the danger they are still in, moves quickly. He disconnects Sonny from the equipment, grabs him, and with calculated urgency carries him out of the operating room and out of the hospital. They escape to a safe location, Morgan's safe house, where everything has been prepared in advance. Sonny, still in shock, struggles to comprehend what's happening. His mind races with questions. How is Morgan alive? Where has he been? Why didn't he come back sooner? Moments later, Carly arrives. She had received a mysterious message telling her where to go. When she sees Morgan, she is overwhelmed with emotion. Tears stream down her face. She cannot believe what she's seeing. Sonny and Carly both move toward their son, holding him tightly as if they never want to let go. Once the immediate emotion subsides slightly, Morgan begins to explain. He reveals how he survived the explosion in 2016. It turns out that a secret organization rescued him. They saw potential in him, and while he was recovering, they recruited him for a covert mission. Morgan had to fake his death completely to protect not only himself, but also his family. If his enemies knew he was alive, it would put Sonny, Carly, and everyone they loved in grave danger. Morgan describes the years spent in training, gathering intelligence, and waiting for the moment when he might be needed most. His every move was calculated. He maintained his silence, endured the loneliness, and watched from afar as his family grieved and moved forward, never once allowing himself the luxury of reaching out. He admits it was the hardest thing he's ever done, but he never forgot his purpose, to protect them at all costs. And now, with Sonny's life on the line, Morgan knew he had to act. His timing was perfect, but the danger isn't over yet. Brennan will not let this attack go unanswered. He will realize soon enough that Sonny is alive and that his assassin failed. Morgan warns Sonny and Carly to stay hidden for now. They need to lay low while he figures out their next move. Trust is a rare commodity, and right now they can't be sure who is working for Brennan and who isn't. Even within their own circles, there could be moles. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, Brennan's men scramble to cover up the failed hit. They feed false information to the media, claiming that Sonny's surgery encountered complications and that he is in critical condition. the public remains unaware of the real drama that unfolded behind closed doors. In the days that follow, Morgan uses his skills and contacts to gather intelligence. He discovers that Brennan is planning a larger attack, one that could wipe out not just Sonny but several key figures in Port Charles. Brennan's ambition knows no bounds, and he sees this as his chance to eliminate all opposition in one swift move. Morgan, Sonny, and Carly realize they cannot run forever. They need to strike back. Morgan devises a plan. Using the information he has gathered over the years, he pinpoints Brennan's weaknesses. He identifies the corrupt officials, the dirty cops, and the bribed hospital staff members who have been aiding Brennan. It becomes a race against time. Morgan leads the charge, with Sonny and Carly backing him. Together, they begin dismantling Brennan's network piece by piece. Each takedown is swift, silent, and brutal. Morgan's training is evident as he moves through Brennan's organization like a phantom, leaving no trace behind. As the walls close in on Brennan, he grows increasingly desperate. He orders more hits, tries to buy more allies, but it's too late. Morgan has already sown seeds of doubt and fear among Brennan's people. Betrayals begin to happen within Brennan's own ranks. Finally, it comes down to one last confrontation. Brennan corners Morgan in a deserted warehouse, thinking he finally has the upper hand. But Morgan anticipated the move. In a dramatic showdown, Morgan outsmarts Brennan, turning his own men against him. Brennan is arrested, exposed for his crimes, and removed from power once and for all. Sonny and Carly can finally breathe again. Morgan's return is bittersweet. The years lost can never be reclaimed, but the future is now filled with hope. The Corinthos family, battered but unbroken, stands together once more. Yet, Morgan makes it clear that his work isn't done. There are still shadows lurking in Port Charles, hidden threats that could rise again. Morgan vows to continue protecting his family, whether they see him or not. Some battles are fought in the open. Others must be waged from the darkness. One thing is certain. Morgan Corinthos is back, and Port Charles will never be the same. Next, we will dive deep into the shocking drama surrounding Willow Corinthos as she uncovers a scandalous bedroom secret involving Drew Kane, orchestrated by none other than Nina Reeves and Portia Robinson. This intriguing storyline is packed with deception, heartbreak, and unexpected twists that will keep viewers on the edge of their seats. The devastating discovery, Willow's world shattered. Picture this. Willow Corinthos, exhausted and emotionally drained, returns home expecting solace after a disheartening trip. Instead, she walks into a nightmarish scene straight out of a soap opera's darkest betrayal. In their shared bedroom, she finds Drew Kane, the man she trusted with her heart, entangled in the sheets with a mysterious woman. The sight is a gut punch, leaving Willow reeling with horror and disbelief. Her mind races with questions. How could Drew, her pillar of strength, do this to her? Was their love nothing but a facade? The air in the room thickens with tension as Willow's heart shatters into a million pieces, her trust in Drew seemingly obliterated in a single devastating moment. Adding to the sting, Willow recalls the whispered rumors around Port Charles about Drew's wandering eye, rumors she had dismissed as petty gossip until now. Nina Sitt's desperate scheme, a plot to destroy. Behind this scandal lies a mastermind with a vendetta, Nina Reeves. For weeks, Nina has been consumed by a burning desire to dismantle the bond between Willow and Drew, viewing their relationship as a personal affront to her own aspirations. Her obsession has led her down a dark path, culminating in a sinister plan to frame Drew for infidelity. Nina's strategy is cold and calculated. She hires Jacinda, a cunning woman with a shadowy past, to pose as Drew's lover. Though Nina wrestles with fleeting pangs of guilt, wondering if she's crossed a line even she can't justify, her resolve hardens. She convinces herself that the ends justify the means, believing that breaking Willow's heart is a necessary evil to reclaim control over her own tangled web of emotions. To add depth to her deception, Nina spins a backstory for Jacinda, portraying her as a vulnerable soul drawn to Drew's charm, which only heightens the illusion of betrayal when the trap is sprung. Portia Sitt's role, an unlikely accomplice. Enter Portia Robinson, an unexpected ally in Nina's twisted game. While Portia often plays the moral compass in Port Charles, her reasons for joining forces with Nina are layered with personal stakes. Perhaps she harbors lingering resentment toward Drew for past slights, or maybe she's protecting a secret of her own that aligns with Nina's goals. Together, they execute a plan laced with deception. Portia assists by slipping a sedative into Drew's drink during a seemingly innocent social gathering at the Quartermain mansion. As Drew succumbs to the drug's effects, he's unaware of the staged scene unfolding around him. Jacinda, positioned perfectly for the ruse, slips into bed beside him, ensuring incriminating snapshots are captured on her phone. Portia, though conflicted, rationalizes her actions as a means to protect someone she loves, though viewers are left wondering if her conscience will eventually betray her. The setup, a perfectly timed betrayal. The timing of this betrayal couldn't be worse for Willow. Fresh off a disheartening journey to Baden-Baden, Germany, where she hoped to reconcile with Michael Corinthos at his clinic, Willow is already vulnerable. Unbeknownst to her, Drew had orchestrated her rejection abroad, bribing a clinic staff member to turn her away with a fabricated excuse that Michael refused to see her. Crushed by the apparent coldness from Michael, Willow had yearned for Drew's comforting embrace upon her return. Instead, she stumbles upon a scene that rips open old wounds and plants new seeds of doubt. The bedroom, once a sanctuary of love and laughter, transforms into a battlefield of accusations. Willow's eyes burn with fury as she questions not just the moment before her, but every tender memory with Drew. Was his support during her toughest times merely a mask for deeper deceit? The emotional whiplash of her failed trip and this shocking discovery fuels a storm of anger and grief. Drew sits defense, a fight for redemption. As Willow unleashes her rage, Drew awakens to the chaos, his mind foggy from the drug's lingering effects. Confusion morphs into panic as he registers the unfamiliar woman beside him and Willow's accusatory glare. Stumbling over his words, Drew vehemently denies any wrongdoing, piecing together fragmented memories of the previous night. He recalls a casual drink at the mansion, a sudden wave of dizziness, and then nothing. Desperation colors his voice as he pleads with Willow to trust him, insisting this must be a setup. His suspicion lands on Nina, whose past manipulations loom large in his mind. Could this be her latest ploy to sabotage his happiness? Drew's groggy state and genuine bewilderment plant a seed of doubt in Willow's mind, but her pain runs deep. He paints a picture of their future, a life of unwavering partnership, if only she can look past this manufactured scandal. Yet, Willow stands at a crossroads, torn between her love for Drew and the damning evidence before her eyes. Willow sits dilemma: trust or betrayal? The aftermath of this bombshell leaves Willow grappling with a monumental decision. The photographs, Jacinda's sly smirk, and Drew's uncharacteristic disorientation swirl in her mind as she weighs her options. Part of her aches to believe Drew, to cling to the man who stood by her through countless storms in Port Charles. Yet, the betrayal feels too raw, too personal. She replays their recent interactions, searching for clues she might have missed. Did Drew seem distracted, secretive, or overly insistent about her trip to Germany? Her confrontation with Drew isn't just about the woman in his bed, it's about the foundation of their relationship. Willow demands answers, not just from Drew but from herself. Can she rebuild trust after such a visceral wound? As she storms out to clear her foggy head, perhaps confiding in a close friend like Sasha Gilmore, viewers are left wondering if love can triumph over deception in this tangled tale. The bigger picture: Port Charles in turmoil. This scandal isn't unfolding in isolation, it ripples through the tight-knit community of Port Charles, drawing whispered speculation and divided loyalties. Friends and family take sides, with some questioning Drew's character while others point fingers at Nina's notorious scheming. The Quartermain family, already fractured by internal conflicts, faces new tensions as they debate whether to support Drew or distance themselves from the drama. Meanwhile, Nina's involvement risks exposure, threatening to unravel her carefully curated image. Will Portia's role as an accomplice come to light, tarnishing her reputation as a healer and confidant? As the town buzzes with gossip at Kelly's diner and the hospital corridors, this bedroom betrayal becomes a catalyst for broader conflicts, hinting at explosive revelations in the weeks to come. What steps next? A future hanging in the balance. As this gripping storyline unfolds, ABC General Hospital promises more twists in Willow and Drew's saga. Will Willow uncover the truth behind Nina and Portia's conspiracy, or will she remain trapped in a web of lies? Drew's fight to clear his name may lead him to dig deeper into the events of that fateful night, potentially unearthing evidence of tampering or coercion. Their relationship hangs by a thread, teetering between reconciliation and irreversible damage. For now, fans can only speculate on whether love or mistrust will prevail. Next, we will explore the complex and emotionally charged dilemma facing Laura Collins as she grapples with her unwavering loyalty to Sonny Corinthos amidst growing concerns over his criminal empire at the piers of Port Charles. This storyline weaves together themes of morality, friendship, and the delicate balance of power in a town rife with danger and secrets. Laura Sitt's moral struggle. A heart divided. Laura Collins has long been a beacon of integrity in Port Charles, a woman whose moral compass has guided her through countless storms. Yet, when it comes to Sonny Corinthos and his control over the bustling piers, her judgment appears to waver under the weight of personal history. Recently, she has taken a vocal stand against a governmental move to seize Sonny's territory through eminent domain, passionately arguing that displacing him could unleash chaos far worse than his current reign. Laura's voice trembles with conviction as she speaks at town hall meetings, her eyes reflecting decades of shared struggles with Sonny. But beneath her resolute exterior lies a storm of doubt. Is she truly advocating for the town's safety, or is her stance a shield for a friend she can't bear to see fall? Her position sparks heated debates among residents, with some praising her foresight while others whisper that her heart may be blinding her to the darker truths of Sonny's world. Sonny Sipp's empire. Stability or danger? At the heart of Port Charles lies Sonny Corinthos' empire, a shadowy operation that straddles the line between legitimate business and outright crime. From his base at the piers, Sonny oversees a network of dealings that, while often cloaked in secrecy, casts a long shadow over the community. Laura, despite acknowledging the illegal nature of his activities, views Sonny as a stabilizing force, a known entity whose influence, while dangerous, is at least predictable. She paints a picture of controlled chaos, suggesting that Sonny's deep roots in the town allow him to temper the violence that might otherwise erupt. Yet this perspective glosses over the persistent risks his presence brings: rival gangs circling like vultures, stray bullets that endanger innocent lives, and the constant threat of federal raids. Beyond this, there's the unspoken toll on local businesses, some of which quietly pay protection fees to avoid Sonny's wrath. Is Laura's belief in his stabilizing role a reflection of reality, or a comforting illusion born from years of seeing Sonny's softer side during moments of personal crisis? The threat of replacement. A darker evil looms. Laura's primary argument against removing Sonny hinges on a chilling fear: if his grip on the piers is broken, a far more ruthless criminal could step into the void. She conjures the specter of someone like Jen Sidwell, a name whispered in dread among Port Charles' underworld, a figure rumored to have orchestrated mass violence in neighboring territories with a cold, calculating precision Sonny rarely exhibits. Laura envisions a future where Sidwell's reign would bring unchecked bloodshed, extortion rackets that cripple small businesses, and a terror that permeates every corner of the town. Her late-night conversations with trusted allies reveal her dread of such an outcome as she paces the corridors of her home, haunted by the potential consequences. However, this fear raises a critical question: is Sonny truly the lesser evil, or is Laura overestimating the control he wields? His world, after all, is a powder keg of betrayals, vendettas, and sudden power shifts, a reality that could render her safer option theory a dangerous miscalculation in the face of escalating turf wars. Personal ties, loyalty versus duty. The roots of Laura's stance run deep, tangled in a tapestry of shared history with Sonny that spans decades. Their bond is not merely one of convenience, but a profound connection forged through moments of vulnerability: Sonny's quiet support during Laura's darkest family crises, and her unwavering belief in the flicker of goodness beneath his hardened exterior. She remembers late-night coffees at his diner, where he spoke of protecting his children above all else, a sentiment that mirrored her own fierce maternal instincts. This history fuels her compassion, leading her to argue that Sonny's removal could destabilize not just the piers, but the delicate balance of her own emotional world. Yet, as a public servant sworn to protect Port Charles, Laura's personal attachment clashes with her duty. Town council members murmur about conflicts of interest, questioning whether her decisions prioritize a friend over the frightened families who live in the shadow of Sonny's dealings. Her struggle mirrors a tightrope walk: each step toward defending Sonny risks alienating those who see her as their last line of defense against crime's creeping influence. The community sips crossroads: clean slate or chaos. The debate over Sonny's future at the piers extends beyond Laura's personal conflict, igniting a broader conversation about what Port Charles could become. On one hand, removing Sonny offers a tantalizing vision of renewal, turning the piers into a hub for legitimate commerce, perhaps a revitalized waterfront with cafes, markets, and safe spaces for children to play. Community activists rally for this dream, envisioning a town freed from the constant hum of illicit deals echoing through the night. On the other hand, Laura's warnings resonate with those who've seen power vacuums breed violence in other cities, where the fall of one kingpin births a dozen more, each hungrier and crueler than the last. At local diners and church gatherings, residents argue over coffee-stained tables. Some see Sonny as a necessary evil, a devil they know, while others demand a gamble on change, even at the risk of upheaval. Laura's voice, caught in this cacophony, struggles to reconcile her protective instincts with the undeniable allure of a cleaner, safer future. The cost of blind faith, a potential misstep. Beneath Laura's impassioned defense of Sonny lies a nagging possibility. What if her trust in him is a grievous error? She sees him as a man who, despite his flaws, operates with a code of boundary that keeps his darkness in check. Yet, recent whispers of escalating tensions within his ranks, including rumored betrayals by trusted lieutenants, suggest his empire may be less stable than Laura believes. If his control slips even momentarily, the violence she fears from a successor could erupt under his watch, rendering her arguments moot. Moreover, her blind spot to Sonny's growing recklessness, perhaps fueled by personal losses or mounting pressure from rivals, could endanger the very stability she champions. Late at night, as she stares out over the dimly lit piers from her office window, does Laura wrestle with the chance that her loyalty might cost Port Charles dearly? Her internal conflict, a silent battle between heart and head, promises to shape the town's trajectory in unforeseen ways. Looking ahead, a town on the brink. As this captivating storyline unfolds on ABC General Hospital, the stakes for Laura, Sonny, and Port Charles couldn't be higher. Will Laura's defense of Sonny withstand the mounting pressure from both the government and her own conscience, or will she be forced to confront the harsh realities of his world? The piers stand as a battleground not just for power, but for the soul of a community torn between familiarity and the promise of change. Future episodes may reveal cracks in Sonny's facade, testing Laura's resolve, or introduce new players who challenge her worst fears head-on. For now, fans are left to ponder, can Laura balance her personal ties with her public duty, or will her choices plunge Port Charles into deeper turmoil? Tune in to ABC General Hospital for the latest developments and share your thoughts in the comments below. Is Laura right to protect Sonny, or should she push for a new dawn at the piers? We can't wait to hear your take.